Hello everyone, welcome back to Obsessive Preparedness. I am doing a quick front end of my $10 a week food prep challenge. The video here, I released it a year ago. This is part 2. The reason why I'm releasing these videos is for some reason they did not get caught into the algorithms of YouTube, the title tags, whatever, and they didn't perform like my other videos for whatever reason. So I'm going to go ahead and re-release them. I released week 1 last week. This is week 2. It's an excellent series. And the reason why I'm releasing them is because there's so many things that are going on right now in our world today. The lockdowns, food shortages, and I talk about mason jars in this video, week 2. And one of the things I talk about is why we need to have mason jars. And I know there's a shortage on mason jars right now. I know there is a shortage on the lid attachment to be able to suck the air out with the food saver. But when you get a chance, if you come across these things, I highly recommend picking them up because of these kind of circumstances. There is just a huge shortage in so much, and this is a good prepping series that you can learn a lot on how to build your food preps up for $10 a week or less. If you have more money, by all means go get some more product, food, but this is a good way for beginners to learn, and I talk you through on how to build your preps up, why to do certain things, and I just hope you enjoy this video. So let's get to it. Hello and welcome back to Obsessive Preparedness. We are on week 2 of our $10 a week food storage challenge. Now last week I had this in the food storage, $10 or less, and what we got out of our $10 or less was 2 quarts of potato flakes, 3 quarts of rice, we got a can of chicken, a can of tuna, some mixed vegetables, evaporated milk, and then a couple gravy mixes down here. So go, if you haven't seen that video, check out week 1 of our $10 a week challenge. Today I went to Walmart and I spent $9.96. So I pushed it right up to the $10. So come along with me as I go to Walmart and then stick along, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with my week 2 of food. So with $10 a week doing our preps, trying to do a long-term food storage can be challenging, but it's obtainable. It just takes a little time, and you have to have a well thought out process of what you're going to do with your food preps. The process of what you want for long-term food storage and what your thoughts are as kind of foods, what you want to eat. And I'm trying to give a variety of different things that you can prep for. And so over these weeks, you'll look at it and go, do I really want to do that? But over the weeks, if you continue to watch, I have a thought process of where I'm trying to go with this. I'm not trying to look at just doing rices or flour or oats or anything long-term storage. What I'm trying to do is make meals that you can cook for your family for an SHTF situation, that you're not just eating that basic spaghetti sauce and noodle that you have tons of. I'm trying to give a variety. So as we build up our preps, that is what I am trying to obtain, is a variety that makes you happy. Because we all know if all you have is Pizza Hut pizza every day, you're going to get sick and tired of it and you want something different. Well, in an SHTF situation, your food process and thinking is going to be the same. You're going to want variety. And by having variety, it makes your mind healthy, it makes your family happy, and it is obtainable. So just stick with me through this next few weeks, months of series, and we're going to build a nice food storage on $10 a week. Now the beans that I purchased, you can purchase all sorts of bags of beans to store in your preps, but we're still on our $10 a week prep challenge. And so what I am looking at here is, I don't know if you've ever tried these or not, but the pinto beans with ham flavor, green split pea with ham, and a 15 bean soup with the ham. Here in Arizona, there's also Occasion. I don't know if they're there, but you can get for $2.32, 15 bean soup. The ham beans, which are just pinto beans, for $2.32, and then the split peas. I am going to go ahead and buy the 15 bean soup with the flavoring inside, the little packet here. I decided on the 15 bean soup, and it comes with the seasoning packet, and that's kind of neat. We're going to go ahead and put that, one of these, in one of our quart jars here. So we have our beans in the jar, we've got our flavor packet, and I'm going to go ahead and leave this in the jar. Now originally I wasn't going to get 2 bags of beans. I was going to pick out something else, but I couldn't pass this still up. I'm also going to pick up this Cajun 15 bean soup for $1.98. We have Cajun 15 bean soup mix. I'm going to go ahead and get this into the jar. Seasonings. And the next thing that I purchased was hash brown potatoes. We're going to go ahead and get this in the jar. When I wanted to show also this is when you're purchasing this, you want to get ingredients that have no oils in it. So it's salt, dextrose, freshness preserved with sodium bisalate, no oils. To purchase something like these Idaho hash potatoes, they're cheaper, they're 94 cents versus the $1.17, but when you come down to the ingredients, you've got cottonseed oil, sunflower, canola, and so your product is not going to last as long as just your potatoes with no oils in them. So we've got our beans and our potatoes, hash browns, in our jar. You want to make sure that you do not purchase potatoes or anything with a bunch of oils in it, because if you do, your food storage is not going to be as long because those oils are going to go rancid. So we want to purchase the potatoes without any oils. So we've got our beans, our hash brown potatoes, our can of tuna, and Spam. Now this doesn't look like very much for $10, but it is a lot. And you have to think about things that you can do long-term storage and then meals that you can cook with it. Just by rehydrating your hash brown potatoes, and what's nice about having them in the jar is you can reseal it. And if it's an SHTF situation and you can't reseal it, you are still bonus by using mason jars, because you've got to think, if a real bad situation was, you're going to have rodents, and rodents cannot get through mason jars. If you use your food saver bag, something like this, and your food saver to pour your beans in or your spaghetti noodles and suck the air out, this is great, but you can't keep rodents out of it. And the same with Mylar bags. And I'm not telling you to not use it. If you check this video out, you will see that I store food storage in so many different ways, but I am starting you out on $10 a week, and hopefully you can find some mason jars. If you can't, start with leaving them in the original containers, go to garage sales and pick up whatever you can for mason jars. If you can get them at a Goodwill. Now I just went to Goodwill, check this out. So I'm here in Arizona, and a lot of people say that they can pick up mason jars for 25 cents at Goodwill and places. Look at the price on this 1 quart mason jar. So if you were to find 12 of these, then that would be $12 for a dozen. You can buy them definitely cheaper, just brand new with the bands and lids. I can't believe what they want for mason jars. It's kind of ridiculous. 99 cents, that's a pint. So I don't know if in your areas, if you can get them cheaper, by all means pick them up cheaper, but I pass on Goodwill here in Arizona. Our prices at Goodwill are horrible. For $1 a mason jar, you're better off going and getting your mason jars brand new wherever your discount store is cheapest, and you get your bands and rings. Our Goodwill in Arizona is just a joke because it's horrible. Enough said there. But I push the mason jars because of rodents, because they can't get through the packages, because they can gnaw through this, they can gnaw through Mylar, they can gnaw through plastic. I'm not telling you to not store it that way. If those are the only means that you have to store it, then by all means store it that way. But I'm looking at something, $10 a spool for something like this. If you go buy quart mason jars, they're $10, $11. And you can reuse them over and over and over again. So to me, this is more economical and better for you than buying food saver bags or Mylar bags. Once you cut into them, you can't seal it again unless you have a food saver. So on our food saver, we have our little lid attachment. If you want to get these, if you haven't seen these before and you have a food saver, look at my link down below. I've got them in my Amazon store. They're neat deal. You can get regular mouth or wide mouth, and this is a wide mouth. And all I'm going to do is put my lid on. We're going to put this over the top, and I'm going to push canister. We're almost there. I've been doing this so long I can hear where it's at. There we are, we're done. So you pull that off, pull this off. I am not even in fear that it is not sealed. I know for a fact that it's sealed. There's no air, there's no popping. If you don't have a food saver, I've got those linked down below in the Amazon store. I believe in the food saver. Food saver, your little bit of price that goes out by far outweighs having to repurchase Mylar bags or O2s or anything like that. Now let's just say we don't have a food saver. There are methods that we can put our containers in the oven and seal those. And I'll do one of those videos in about 2 weeks, but what we're doing is about 225 degrees, 230. We put our product in the oven without the cap on. We let it heat up for an hour at the 225, 230 degree mark. After the hour, we have our lids in some hot, warm water. You try to get as much of the moisture off. I'll get a paper towel and take it and dry the underneath half and just leave the moisture on the gasket. Put it on, put my band on, and you should have the suction of that heat suck that lid down. Also, by dry canning, if you have rices or flowers or anything like that, it's going to kill anything that's inside there. So if any larvae is in it, eggs, anything like that, you're going to kill it with the heat. So like I said, in a couple weeks, I'll do a video on that. Okay, so I've got everything sealed without the bands, sealed completely, and they're shelf stable. Now with your beans, you can divide this in half, put them in pint jars, or open it up and just reseal it and only use half. Now you've got to think, if you're doing food storage, you need to think about water. Always when we're doing food storage, you need to think about water. And I have some videos that you can watch that show you water storage and things that you can do. But always in the back of your head, think about how you're going to store water. So we have another can of tuna and our Spam. Now we have 2 meals here, possibly 4 with our beans. Hash brown potatoes. Why did I do hash brown potatoes? Because you can make a meal out of hash brown potatoes. With your hash browns, if you have a little flour, if you have a little egg and some milk, let's say you have it. If you don't have those, you've got some evaporated milk. Down the road, we're going to get some powdered eggs. If you have powder eggs, you're going to make a potato pancake. A little onion flake, if you have some fresh onions, and we're going to make potato flakes. Now the Spam, I grew up eating Spam. I will eat Spam out of a can on a mustard sandwich with some white bread, or I love fried Spam. You can dice that up and put it in with your hash brown potatoes, or you can just have it fried, sliced with some eggs. Now in a situation that is SHTF, now the first thing you're going to want to do is think about eating all your food in your refrigerator. Your freezer will should at least for a day. Can you can your food? Can you can your product in your freezer? Can you use a solar sun oven to cook that product? Dehydrate that product? Is there things that you can do with the freezer food? And I keep pushing storing mason jars, because in a world full of crap, you can use your mason jars, you can use your gas grill, your pressure canner, and you can pull every meat product you have in your freezer and make it shelf stable with your pressure canner. So you've got to think about like those kind of things.
I'm going to jump right in here real quick. Now what you were looking at is mason jar lids and the mason jar aisle. Now this video was filmed November 24th, 2020. My food prep video that you're watching, the food challenge, was filmed in the summer of 2019. And I discussed this is a reason why you want to have mason jars on hand. The aisles will get completely wiped out, and when you really need mason jars, you won't be able to get it. Because of the lockdowns, people panic. They go and wipe stores out, and this is the reason why you want to be a prepper. You want to have certain items on hand. Toilet paper, paper towel completely wiped out. This is a cleaning aisle. So if you become a prepper and you learn that it is a lifestyle, you don't have to rush out and empty the stores. If your freezers go down, you can your own food with your jars.
If you have a freezer full of nothing but meats, how are you going to make those stable if you don't have any electricity? So these are always things we want in the back of our mind. So this is our 2 weeks of food, and just stay with me for the 3rd week. And as we keep going along, I'm going to grow and grow our food preps so we have meals that we can pull anywhere and make different meals. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe. And if you want to be notified for future videos, ring the bell. Have a blessed day.